just a bloke in a bar.
I wonder if there's you
got to fire up.
Can Ricky broker a deal with Fox and be like, "Wait, can you actually just not film my side when we're playing bad? Like only film us when we win."
Yeah. And film me when I'm happy and looking good, and only shoot me from my good angle.
Yeah, which is
my left.
Probably so it's coming from this way.
Yes.
And you got to check. I need a makeup person sort of with me on sideline.
Yeah, and I need to be fake tanned, and my hair needs to be done, and my beard needs to be trimmed.
Yeah.
And I can't.
And we've got to be ahead.
And no breakouts.
Yeah. We've got to film me just
up
after
20.
tries. We're up by 20.
Up by 20.
And no 50-50 calls when he gets me in the last 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yep.
And don't shoot me if there's someone obstructing anything. I need a clear view of myself.
I'd actually like someone to be around me, like someone to be clearing space around me.
It's like a ticket thing.
You know, like that dude who like sprints behind the cameraman, just like manning the cord. Like if we could separate one of them, just
Remember
to like
the dude
keep space
in the NFL viral clip where he like pulls the coach back?
Yeah, the
maybe he
coach
needs to hire the coach.
I saw one the other day of these two guys holding crash mats, these two security guards, and like there's a player in the NFL field. Guy gets the ball, runs out, and he just goes up and sort of just brushes it with his elbow because he doesn't need to. He's stopped running, right? And the two security guards look at each other and just go, boom, fucking fist pump. And it's the lamest thing you've ever seen in your life. Almost as if we weren't here.
He dies.
That guy dies.
He dies, man.
He dies, this guy.
We're without our star player.
Thank God, and I hope there's more of it.
The quote is, and I assume we're on by now, I have an agreement with Ricky that, this is Steve Crawley, I have an agreement with Ricky that we don't get in his face when he's on the sidelines. We're also writing to Canberra CEO Don Furner to apologise to the club for being in his face. We're told to show him, but we can't be right in his face on the sidelines in his area.
Right in his face.
Who the fuck came up with this agreement? I want to read this contract, if there is one, or this agreement, if there is one. Is this a verbal contract?
It's a pinky
written?
promise.
It's a handshake into a pinky promise.
Well, that may well be how it's sealed, but is there...
Well, there'd have to be...
Is there documentation?
Of how they came to this agreement.
Because this seems like it's itemised line by line. We can film him, we can show him, but not close-ups.
Is this almost
not
like...
personal, not in his personal space? Is that what...
Ricky's vain? No close-ups.
Well, I think Ricky obviously does a lot of sideline work. But why that then means that you can't be filmed in your personal space or your area or your margins?
To the agreement, and I don't know if anyone, this isn't a political chat, obviously, but Albo has spoken of how he has the Uluru Statement of the Heart that underpins the voice up on his wall, and I'm just wondering whether Crawls might have a similar agreement between him and Stick, like the pinky promise statement from the heart.
The sticky statement.
The sticky statement. Yeah. And it's just like pinky promise, and it's up on Crawls' wall, not
like
to
that.
film.
I'd like to have seen the message from Ricky to Crawls afterwards, being like, pinky promise, mate.
Yeah.
And you fucking
pinky
broke
promise,
it.
cunt.
You broke it.
Pinky promise.
You can't break a pinky promise.
Well, you shouldn't.
Well, what happens if you break one?
Well, you got to apologise publicly.
But does it take part of your soul?
Something happens.
Something's got to. Because you're connected physically.
And the pinky promise, it's almost disrespecting thousands of years of culture.
Yeah, no, it is. Well, at least pinky promise has been going on for a long time.
What's the origin story of the pinky promise, Matt? Hopefully it's not etch. Sometimes we look up stuff and
it's mildly etched, but I think it's play on. The seemingly innocuous Children's Act has a dark past. Okay, it might be etched.
They all do. What the hell?
It's said to have been used by the Japanese mafia who would cut off the pinky finger of the person who broke their word.
Oh, see, no, that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
So Sticky is actually coming for
There's levels of
finger.
darkness. Yeah, well, as far as I'm concerned, Ricky's owed a finger.
Ricky's owed a finger.
Wow. There you go.
Paid in blood.
Which is why he's apologising, because he's trying to get out of losing his pinky.
You don't want
to lose a finger.
Because like when you hear that, you're like, why the fuck would he apologise? That's ridiculous. Now I know.
You can't run one of the most powerful companies in the country without a pinky.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Because then how do you make more pinky problems?
Well, but also like, it's going to draw attention to yourself, but not on your own terms. Like, again, which hand do you use? Do I go shake your hand? I go, oh, I feel it straight away. I'm like,
we can't shake left, because then you're acknowledging that there's something wrong with your right.
That's what I mean.
Would you do a deal with a man with no pinkies?
Well, I wouldn't, because I'd go, where'd your pinky go?
Shake my hand, and then just, like, there's no pinky there. You're feeling like, what's that nub?
And then I look at it, and I go,
oh,
okay.
sorry,
How'd you lose that, bro?
How'd you lose that, mate?
Did you break a promise?
Feel like you might have. Feel like you might have broken a promise.
Oh, rugby league. It's the best.
It's the greatest game.
Like, Ricky is rugby league.
Yeah, he is.
He is rugby league.
Where would we be without him? Really?
Honestly.
As a team,
As a game.
as
Where
a
would this
game,
podcast
rather,
be?
as a nation, as a people.
Yeah.
As Homo sapiens, where would we be without
Sticky.
Sticky Stuart, best in the business?
He's the best in the
Big
biz.
fan of
Oh, mate,
Big fan.
100%.
This will be a game this weekend, Sunday Arvo, I think. Sharks, is it?
Because if they lose and
They're
Cowboys
out.
win,
Yeah, I think Ricky's probably breathed a sigh. I reckon Ricky, to be honest, might have like rocked up on Ivan Cleary's doorstep and just like had a grenade in his hand. You know, listen, you can rest players. I'm just saying.
a Tuesday 3:59.
Yeah. Rest everyone. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying I got a grenade here, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not threatening you. I'm just saying I have a grenade.
That's another really good point. I think Ricky's been to work this week.
Yeah.
Crawls. Want to lose a pingy, brah? Fucking apology, don't do it again. And then straight to Ivan, come, mate.
Is it
If
like
you
the
don't roll
Punisher?
out a full-strength side, Luai excluded, obviously injured, we're punching on, bruh.
Yeah.
Know that. Because they've rolled out it's essentially full strength.
Prems. They're going for
Yeah.
Prems. And a minor Prem. But there is a bit of yarn about if Broncos lose, they may rest some players. There's a bit of yarn around that.
Okay.
Not if Ricky has anything to do with it.
No, Ricky will
Well,
be.
listen, that goes against what Ricky wants. So
You know that sort of thing. That was just like he opened the door and Ricky's just standing there like knuckle dusters. Ivan.
Oh, imagine seeing Ricky with knuckle dusters
Oh
on
my
at your
God.
front door.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Just,
You make a horror film on that. Rugby
knuckle
league horror
dusters
film.
scare me anyway, just seeing it.
Oh, Slacky's gone a bit quiet in season 2023, Slacky. But if you want to come up with some sort of a, Ricky looking like some sort of a ruffian walking around with like dragging a baseball bat or a metal pole,
With
knuckle
Ricky dusters on.
grenade.
You know what?
Just threatening
Maybe
people.
we're the problem. Maybe we haven't inspired Slucky the way he deserves to be
Maybe we
inspired.
haven't. Maybe we
I
haven't.
would disagree
I
with
disagree.
Fair enough. Apologies. That's self-reflection.
Yep.
Not a part of the DMP.
No, that's not.
Okay.
That's all we do.
Okay.
Slacky Van Sluck.
It's literally his name. Budgy Smuggler, Bloke, and Budgy Smuggler are collaborating. I can't believe I'm reading this because I know exactly what's happening.
What's
Bloke
happening?
Budgies. I'm like the fucking wrong bird, man. I can't help it. I just fucking read what's in front of me. Budgy Smugglers are out now. They are moving very, very fast. If you want Bloke Budgies, make sure to head to their website. We've already sold out of a few sizes, a few different colours. Had one of our regular Budgie buyers, we've only released one, but he was at Bathurst one time and he's wearing Budgies. He got snapped. And then I said, mate, next time we drop some, send me a message. 2 years later, boom, sends me a message. Went to get the brown, no brown left. So even our most avid, respected member of the Bloke community couldn't get the brown. So make sure to go to Budgy Smuggler, grab some Bloke Budgies. We've got black, brown, yellow, and red. The brown is still available, just not in the size that the big fella wanted. And they won't be on sale forever. So once they are gone, they are gone. Now let's get into it, boys. Doggies. Actually, just quickly, have you guys toothpaste? What kind of toothpaste do you use? I'm a very missionary my whole life. I've been using just like the normal mint toothpaste.
Yep.
Recently,
Colgate.
pretty much. Colgate. Yep. But recently, I tried some other, and this is not an ad, but if you want to sponsor the podcast, High Smile, some flavoured stuff that my missus had sent to her. It's changed my life.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. I was talking about this the other week. My wife has gone mad with power using this app called Yucca, and she's just fucking scanning everything. And you scan the barcode and it shoots up with like what's in it, and it gives it a rating as it sees it.
Health-wise, right?
Health-wise. And Colgate, unfortunately, doesn't go that well. Heaps of additive bullshit in there. High Smile is well regarded, highly regarded.
Really?
So we're rocking High Smiles at the moment. Great taste. Really nice taste.
They even got like vanilla.
Yeah,
they got
and a fun bottle. Squeezes out.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I've had flavoured toothpaste in the past. And
They're all
But like,
yeah, beyond mint.
Yeah, like as in, fucking here's a passion fruit toothpaste. I'm still like, just give me the fucking, I'm very
really?
missionary. I don't even mean Colgate. If you're mint, we're cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you're like strawberry flavour, that's not what I'm coming here for.
I want you to try a bit of High Smile because I understand where you're coming from. There's some like kid strawberry flavour stuff.
Something like
that's
that. It's still minty.
Okay, as long as because mint feels like someone's
still
been through your
but
house.
it still feels
clean.
It feels minty.
feels like the cleaners have come in your
It
mouth.
feels
Yeah.
minty.
I don't mean come in your mouth. I mean they've come and cleaned your mouth.
But I mean, if you want to use
Listen,
that,
if
similarly,
they come in your mouth as well, then that's good.
That's good.
the cleaners,
extra.
as in like
Then everyone
the
wins.
teeth cleaners, or actually the cleaners cleaning the studio.
Well, listen, depends.
Everyone wins. It leaves you feeling minty. Not an ad. Also, High Smile. Did we get back to that?
We didn't, but we will.
Well, reach
I want
out.
free shit.
Reach out to us. These are fans. We're fans.
We're just fans.
They did reach
Fans.
out.
They did
Yeah,
reach
I
out.
forgot.
Yep.
Do you reckon that's if High Smile reach out, that's an insult though?
No, because I talked about it.
No, because we'll bag it
Oh,
out.
okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
We weren't bagging them out.
Not them.
We're bagging them in.
No.
It's like if High Smile reach out just randomly, they're saying, "Bro, you need to work on your."
Listen, I'm not gonna. I know the fucking lay of the land. I don't have the widest teeth of all time, and that's okay.
Let me see.
Have you whitened your teeth
got
before?
food
Have
in
you
your
whitened your teeth before? They're not bad.
I've whitened them once, yeah.
I've whitened them before.
Steph got. Well, I think High Smile worked. Not an ad, but again, I'll get back to you. But like, remember when they first came out and it was like you put the thing in your mouth.
Yeah.
My
Did you
missus-
get that?
She got it for me, and I did it once, and I went, "This is again, reach out." But like, I just can't be fucked to do that.
I only did it when I was single. If I'm being honest. Got to be vain.
My miss said to me, and I'm like, "Well, that's fucking offensive. I don't think they're that bad. No, they're not sparkly white picket fence in my mouth, but like, who the fuck?"
I often think about our ancient friends. Like, if you're pre-toothbrush, pre-toothpaste,
You got to kiss them.
like, your teeth are furry all the time.
Well, no, your teeth are gone. You're falling them.
But like, don't you find that straight evolutionary wise that your teeth are fucked if you don't
I think
brush them and go to the dentist
there were
and look
probably
after
things
them?
though that you would be able
Yeah.
to do. Like there'd probably be something about like certain things that you would eat that would be
Yeah.
like natural cleaners, not even that you were intending to do. You know what I mean?
Like a
things-
dog and a bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, why do I think that?
I'm pretty sure there's certain foods.
Like, we
that
have to
make
put
sense.
fluoride in water now so that our teeth don't fall out.
Yeah, I
they
reckon
ought to
that's
be
just
gummy
dude,
as fuck, these
Tinfoil
people.
hat, dude. Tinfoil hat. They're just trying to fucking.
What conspiracies about that? You
Well,
No.
bro,
My-
fluoride, bro.
I tell you what, the proof's in the pudding. My old man, not raised on a diet of fluoride, teeth all gone, fucked. There. Fluoride's legit, dude.
Nah,
you
dude,
need it.
fucking
But I just
keep
find
away
it
from
strange.
me.
Oh, yeah?
I'm done. I'm
Okay.
talking shit. I went to the dentist the other day and they gave me one of the great fucking cleans of all time. And I probably hadn't been for like a year or so. And just coming out of there and being able to feel Testy Pop Central, apologies, feeling every single individual, like the backs of, because, you know, like, again, I don't know if you guys are floss guys. I'm not.
No.
I will try to endeavor it, doctor, whatever your name was. But, like, I just, whatever the fuck builds up there that, you know, you just can't
Plaque.
get away without having a drill in your mouth. I was like, I can feel every single tooth, like the back of them all. It was just like a completely different.
So you feeling good?
Well, it's been a week. You know, it's not as good as it was, but I'm getting used to it now.
Feeling fresh.
Yeah, I'm feeling fresh.
Good for you, buddy.
Speaking of teeth, it's an ongoing joke because I tell the story all the time when I interview people or other players. Greg Inglis offended me and chipped my tooth. Before I went to Europe, it was getting painful. So I had to mend the Greg Inglis token.
Oh, no.
So now it is no longer in the same state as it was when the
So
great
you
GI.
kept it chipped.
I kept it
Because
chipped.
GI chipped it.
Because GI chipped it, but then the nerves started coming out.
That's
tough.
You should have just
Couldn't
copped
bet
it.
it.
Yeah, you should have copped
Gripped it and ripped it, I reckon. Because you could have, well, that's just a nice in, had chipped tooth. Greg Inglis did it.
That's cool.
No, well, it
It's very
was cool.
It was cool. It's not cool anymore. It's lame. Now I don't even know if it's true. Because there's no proof.
No.
But the proof's in the pudding.
Well, the proof isn't in the pudding. Because there's no pudding left. Remove the pudding.
Also, I needed to get you guys onto this, but what is fire alarm etiquette? What is couth? What is uncouth? Because I was just at the gym, bouncing a bit of rubber, pushing a bit of steel, fighting a bit of gravity, and the fire alarm went off. I bounced out a few sets before I left. I'm just going to be honest.
I need someone like that works in that situation. I would need someone that works there to be like, okay, this is a legit one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm assuming that it's a test.
Yeah. And if
Because you
I-
get tests more than
Real
real
ones.
thing.
Well, and that's good because you want to be prepared. Ours always goes off in our studio.
But we get tested and we still sit there though.
But what I want is for as long, if I'm going to ignore it completely, if I can see that, like if my exits are good, like if I can see outside, you need to tell me to leave.
But you know how generally they're attached to a speaker? They go, this is a test. Just be like, this is legit. Like, this is a legit one. You know
But
what I
maybe
mean?
there's not someone sitting there able to.
No, because that's all automated. If it goes off legit, this is a legit one.
Get out. Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out of here,
Run.
mate.
Get down low and go.
Run as fast as you can.
Yeah,
Can't catch
I
me. I'm a
stayed in there.
gingerbread man sort of stuff.
There's a bit of gingerbread going on in the gym, that's for sure. I don't know what that means.
No, I was like,
But that's the beauty of a podcast. I can just throw words out there and you can interpret it the way you want. It could have been sexual. It could have been whatever you want.
Gingerbread stuff in the gym.
It's like art.
But I did what you did, Eddie. I just kept pounding the pavement or the rubber.
Yep.
And, pounding the rubber. Well, I kept lifting weights.
Yeah.
Shifting
Until
I was
tin,
told.
I believe it's referred to.
Yeah, shifting tin, but it wasn't technically tin. It was rubber.
We had some. We've been doing a 3 month
testing.
Well, we did a 3 month fucking fitness challenge, Jeff Athletic, and today was our 2.5K time trial. 13 seconds slower. What's up?
You got slower. Yeah. How does that happen? It's honestly should be physically impossible for you to get slower.
There's a couple of things here.
Oh, here we go.
Couple of things. Firstly, my Garmin is fucking heavy. My watch.
We'll send you home.
Then that's the first thing. But that probably still helped my time. And look, Eddy could use this same excuse, but we were preparing for testing on Saturday. Saturday was testing day, so that's where I was like, I'd set my tapering to fucking hit Saturday.
Tapering, yep.
I had a humongous Tuesday night in Melbourne. And then I just wasn't recovered.
Look, it sounds like you need to be sent home because you're making big excuses.
No, but I too was involved in that.
Yeah, okay.
And I
But he
got
fucking
quicker.
got significant.
So you
54
know what
seconds.
that is though? That's ticker. That's ticker.
He's a run guy though. I'm a bit.
I think it's ticker.
You wait and see me add maybe
Because
one
your
extra
time got better, correct?
54.
significantly better.
So that's pure ticker because he was already better than you. So
I think you know what though, halfway testing. So like we did the start,
you blew your
then
load
halfway. I beat my halfway score because my halfway score was awful.
Yeah.
And then so I beat that. So technically,
So Eddie, you can literally have a number. You are 54 seconds more ticker than Tom. So if there's like a cataclysm,
Yep.
and you need a minute to get somewhere,
Yep.
You're
can dine out
living,
on that.
you're dying.
yeah. But what we'll probably have in a situation of a cataclysm is that we might just sort of attach some sort of a trailer to Eddie's waist and he can drag me with him.
Like a horse and cart.
Yeah, something like that.
That's almost like a love story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd be prepared to do it because I've got the fucking heart to file up.
Man, you don't want to leave me behind, right?
No, I wouldn't leave you behind, mate. And I've got the heart to file up, which was huge.
Yeah.
It's actually in a museum, so big.
So when
big as a, I think it's like
Horse?
big as a B dub, maybe.
A V-dub.
Yeah.
what I want to know is when you're in the hurt locker, what do you say to yourself? Seriously.
Listen, in this one, I'll be honest with you, people. This one today, I rocked up 6 a.m. We're usually 7 a.m. training as well. It was all against me today.
Mate, his cards were marked. He'd made up his mind. He's like, I'm not trying.
I said to Eddie, I go, mate, there's just no fucking way. I'm
Oh,
not gonna go."
no. You talked yourself out of it.
No. Like, there was no fucking way. I had to
You
walk
could have
out of
talked
the...
yourself into
I
it.
walked off the betting show yesterday.
13
I couldn't
seconds.
finish the show yesterday.
It's 13 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I wasn't paying attention. I didn't even know what time I got the
13
first
seconds
time.
for your life.
No.
So what's your internal monologue when you're hurting? Fuck it.
Today?
Yeah.
Fuck it. Fuck it.
Eddie, what's yours?
It'll be over soon. It'll be over soon.
Well, I get abusive to myself. I call myself a coward and a pussy.
Oh, no. That doesn't have the same effect on me, unfortunately.
Mine's like it's fleeting.
It's got to end.
It's going to end.
I tell myself that when it's like, do a minute plank. And I'm like, from 10 seconds in, I'm like, just don't look at the clock. We'll be over in a second.
Oh, that is great stuff. Look, you know, you might be a scientific miracle, the fact that you've gone backwards. It's almost should be impossible.
I didn't actually. I got better. So I think that when I was first testing was like, it was an anomaly, right? That was almost a testament to myself. But like, I've actually
You showed a bit that day, though.
Huh?
You showed a bit that day. Bit
I
of ticker.
threw up afterwards.
Yeah, but exactly. So you showed a bit.
Yeah.
See, I do have ticker in me. It just depends.
You must have thrown it all up out that
Yeah, I
time.
vomited all the ticker up on the first one.
It's none left. You have to go back and
Eat it up.
have a
off
look
the
for a
grass.
bit. Try to get it out of the dirt.
Yeah.
Golf day sold out in what? Literally 3
4
seconds.
seconds,
4
yeah.
seconds.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
If you even view golf, you want to be ready for the next one, surely.
Yeah.
fuck yeah.
These hats as well, limited edition hats. They're only available.
You don't get one of them.
Oh, they're cool.
Probably a nice opportunity for me to bring up that we are selling pink rose cord hats for the final time. Punters and dribblers, never to come back. Hellosport.shop, 6 p.m. tonight. Be there or be square.
Be square.
Did
I don't
the-
even know what the fuck that means.
I say that every week.
Well, you're not around.
Perfect.
Did the pink hats have the most impact of all your hats? Not in the history of it, but just the drop itself. Because I felt like there was
Volume?
Well, not volume, just the hype around it and the love for them. I know the black ones are the OGs, correct?
Yep.
Then you got the baggy greens, obviously.
Yep.
But I feel like the pink ones really made an impact.
Pink one's gotten to their work.
Yeah, they've been really popular.
They've
been a popular hat
for all occasions.
The one that's always asked about is the black one, but the pink one's been the most popular.
I think I got a black one at home, just saying.
Yeah. You actually have a blue one, one of 100. That we gave to you first.
Someone would pay a lot of money
and you
for
were
that.
like,
Really?
I don't wear hats. And then we're like,
If you fall on hard times, which is unlikely, worth it. But if you were to, you could you could sell it for a pretty penny.
Okay. All right, I'll keep that in mind.
Just so you know.
When my wife comes out, she's like, there's no food in the house.
Yeah.
I could just get that.
Well, you put the hat behind some glass, break in case of fucking
Poverty.
break in unlikely event that Denon needs more money.
Oh, that's great.
I should probably admit that I give things here about a 4-week window before I just take it home. So there's a good chance that everything, like your Big Day Rosé, that's at my house. A couple of hats at my house.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance it's all at my house.
Well, the first time we offered Denon a hat, he goes, I'm not a hat guy. We're like,
But like, that's being nice.
yeah,
I'm
but then you
being
still
nice.
took it.
Yeah, but
you
like,
I was like, why do you want it then?
well, I didn't. You gave it to me. I didn't.
Then you were like, oh, thanks. I'm not a hat guy. No, oh, sorry. Well,
well, I didn't know they were one of 100. You said one of 100.
Well, no,
bro.
I didn't mind that they were. I was more like, I don't want to burden you with this.
But I didn't want you to
this
see me.
gift.
I didn't want to see me on the podcast, never wear it, and be like, what a dick.
You could have worn it.
Plenty of people.
I have
You
worn it. I
could've-
wore it
you
in that
could've-
photo.
The blue
together.
one?
The first
Oh,
one.
yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah.
He's got it on the photo, yep.
There you go.
And he looked good. So the fact that he...
Oh, fuck off. I have the worst shaped head ever. I think it's because of my beak. It's like too elongated for a hat. It just looks weird.
I think you can be a hat guy. You just need to.
I think you just need to
wear
believe a
hats
little
too.
bit more. Belief.
All right, let's get into it. Bulldogs dramas. It has been reported during the week that there are players unhappy with the environment of the Bulldogs. Look, it's a bigger deal than usual, but in most teams that are struggling, players are unhappy. Not to say that it's not an issue, but it's pretty usual. Apparently, a Bulldogs player was late to training, had to wrestle teammates from the playing squad for over a 10-minute period. The number of, I mean, it's irrelevant. The number of, it's more, the only relevance is how long he wrestled for. How many he wrestled is irrelevant. 10 minutes is the report, which is, that's probably short. Surely it's
That
longer
doesn't
than
even
that.
seem that long.
Well, it can be fucking
I'm
super
sure I'm not
tough.
saying it's easy, but I mean, for a 10
Yeah, no, it would have been longer than 10
I
minutes.
ran for longer than that this morning.
It must have been longer than 10 minutes. 10 minutes is that's a fucking piss. Yeah, it's easy. As in, it's not easy, but it's like you just get through it.
Yeah.
Reports say the player that returned to training the next day finished the week, but hasn't been back since. A Bulldogs player who's remained anonymous said to the Daily Telegraph, it was a knee wrestle where you've got to get your opponent on their back. Really, really standard stuff. He was made to wrestle everyone, and you can imagine how fatigued he got. It was everyone in the top 30 apart from injured guys. After it happened, I thought, what the F was that? It was pretty ordinary. A lot of players didn't want to do it. Another player who was left said, I just didn't enjoy being there. A lot of other players felt the same. It had nothing to do with the hard work. It was just the environment. Seraldo has called out players numerous times publicly. Nothing comes without hard work. We have 1 day a week, and if you get the last massage, you're probably leaving at 5:30. The days were longer at the place I was previously. Nobody has come to me and complained about the long days. We've got a Jersey Flag under 21s group that do weights at 5 a.m, work for 10 hours, come back and do a field at 5:30. We've got a leadership group that we meet with every week, and you'd like to think if there was some unrest, those guys would have brought it up. And then Serralo also said, we've gone through a range of different ways of talking about holding standards, he said. Some of that has been monetary fines. Others has been spinning a wheel, and others trying to find ways to change behaviours, which sounds like they get more extreme if you've been late numerous times. The reality is we need to change behaviours here. I think we've done a good job of that throughout the season. We'll continue to find ways to change behaviours to winning behaviours. Also, Gus Gould has kind of come out and said that, you know, it's a private kind of medical situation where, you know, they've just got the medical records and they hadn't received them until now, so the club can't really go into detail of what has happened.
But there was an inference of like some mental health stuff, right? Is that what that?
It seems like it. It seems like it. So, you know, maybe the player has been struggling with mental health and this was, you know, he just couldn't be in the environment. But anyway, what do you guys think about this whole situation?
There's a lot of inference of poor culture, poor standards chat here. Is it the fact that they don't have a whole lot of like sort of older experienced players there just off the top of the dome? Is that where it starts? Is this sort of exposing Serraldo potentially as like you were an assistant, now you're the big boy and things aren't going as well as you might have liked?
I like that at least he's come out, Serraldo, and been like, not like, he's been on the front foot and been like, fucking, this is what it is. Like, this is what we do here. If you
Standards
don't like
are too low.
Standards, right? But to your point, Edward, it doesn't look great either way. Even if you do come out and be, you know,
How long does standards and culture take, do you think? Like, does this take fucking 5 years? Is it something you can fix in a season?
Nah, Melbourne Storm, like Smithy spoke about it on the captain's run yesterday. Melbourne Storm, he said it took like 3 or 4 years for them to really, you know, nail down who they were as a team. And they were, it's funny, he goes, we were an average side for those 3 or 4 years. They finished like 5th and 6th and shit. And I was like, that just shows you how heck they are.
Yeah.
But he's like, we were an average side for those first few years until we built exactly what was expected. And it's really hard because, like, at the Broncos, for example, when I came in, there'd already been like 10 years of standards of the best in the business. So the standards were super high, it was super ruthless, but you kind of expected it. Whereas in the Bulldogs, they haven't really done much since, 2018? You could probably go back further if you wanted to. And so the guys that are all there now, aside from probably Josh Addo-Carr, you know, Reid Marnie to a degree, but Josh Addo-Carr, aside from him, haven't really been in hectic systems for long periods of time. So it's very hard for a coach to come in without a strong senior player group that is basically his right arm and listens to everything he says, and to instill culture without a senior playing group that is strong.
But so what would be happening here? Are they? Is there just like a number of players taking the piss? What does that look like? Look, are they just not training that hard? Are they showing up late? Is it an attitude thing? Like, what is? But
this? Also, how bad can a wrestling session get?
Where it's like, a culmination.
But what I mean is like, oh fuck, this was really, I didn't like being there. Like, unless it's like some like hazing, bullying thing, which obviously that's not enjoyable.
Which we've done
to each other.
Well, no, it was done to us.
What do you mean?
Hazing.
Oh yeah, sure. I see what you mean. No, but I more mean, well, yes, exactly right. But like, one person singled out like what this is sort of, I mean, right. Like that might be, but if it's like a mate, like yeah, he's your friend, but like if he's late, you kind of, I'd think that'd be almost funny. In that you're like, bro, you were late, this is what happens, right? Like
I think it doesn't need to be more than that.
No.
Like,
I think it's a culmination. Like, I think it's probably been building. It wouldn't be just like one off, this happened. I think maybe he's late a few times, maybe he's not happy at the club and he hasn't been playing first grade, or he has been playing first grade and they've been losing all the time. It's almost like the polar opposite of the Penrith Panthers, because the Penrith Panthers are like in this perfect Goldilocks zone where they're working hard and they're winning. So everything's great. You love to work hard. You love to be in there and have a crack. Whereas when you're working hard and losing, it's the worst, because you're doing all this tough work and you get no reward for it. I personally think that there's probably a few players that disagree with the way things are, and it's very easy for a few players to kind of poison the well. Now
that player speaking out
is crazy.
Is pretty fucking hectic.
So hectic. And I think the thing in Ciraldo's favour is, like, there's been no success at this club for so long. Like, I get it. I've been there. Trust me, as a young fella, there were times when I was sooking and I was like, fuck, that's bullshit. We shouldn't, you told us we could have this day off, and then you rang us up the Arvo before and said we got to come in and get towed up. But I would never, first of all, never speak to the media, and I would never leave. Like, it's not to say that young player, every young player sucks at some point. Every young player. I've seen players cry, all that kind of shit. But I've never seen a player, leave a session or not come back. Actually, no, that's wrong. There have been some fringe guys that haven't played first grade yet that have struggled with the intensity of first grade. Yep. Look, I just think that if you're a player there that don't agree with the way Ciraldo does it, you might be totally right. And in a year or two's time, Ciraldo could be moved on and whatever. But at the end of the day, the club has decided to bring Ciraldo in. You guys have no evidence that what you were doing before was working. So you either get on board or you find another club. That's really as simple as it should be, in my opinion.
But is this player that's gone home, is he like, is this a protest? Does he not want to play for the club anymore?
Yep.
Do we know anything here?
You just don't know. I think it's a delicate situation, and I understand the mental health side of it, and I think that if you're mentally struggling, you should remove yourself from the environment of a professional rugby league club until you're ready to go again.
Yep.
I could understand if the players knew that this guy was struggling, and then this thing's that wouldn't be fun. If you're like your mates, he's going through shit, and then you're like, you kind of
that's where the senior players need to step in and go to the coach and go, mate, he's like, before this wrestle sesh, or ex-player, he's really struggling mentally. You need to go have a chat with him. But Ciraldo has said no one spoke to him about the hard training. And that's the real disconnect, because that's where you have a strong... I didn't learn culture from Wayne Bennett. I learned it from Justin Hodges, Corey Parker, Darren Lockyer, Shane Webke, Petro. Like those, when you walked in and you were sooking and it was a tough session, they'd be like, mate, what the fuck are you sooking for?
Yeah.
Fucking pull your head in. If you want to be here, have a crack. If not, fuck off. That's literally what I say.
Because we learned it as well from Brady and Chalk and fucking 50 and Beaver and Killer and Matt Eye. And fucking
Sorry, work hard, party hard, play hard.
Yeah,
Sort of stuff.
Foz, with all those boys.
Sorry, my point was is that you don't really learn it from the coach. You learn it from the.
No, I understand.
I sound like a fuckwit.
No.
No, it's because we were part of that.
as well.
Okay,
That's right.
Okay.
We were part of the fucking, the makeup there.
Standards are set by the senior players.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
Yeah.
And there is countless times where older players would pull the young guys up and go, mate, pull your head in. Like, if you don't want to be here, fuck off.
And they're the ones that I guess a younger players looking up to. You're not looking up to your coach.
And if a coach does that, it's a very, like a coach can do that, but it should be usually privately. Now, obviously, you can get sprayed sometimes, but the senior players, they're all about managing the roster and the environment because you're close with them all the day. Whereas the coach might come down, so you roll in an hour before training, and that's the thing. Like, if you're rolling in 12 minutes late to your time, that's really late. Like, you should be there an hour before.
Makes a great point about Jersey's flag as well. Like them getting there at 5 a.m, working 10-hour days, and then coming back at 5:30. That puts it in perspective.
Yeah.
Well, Melbourne Storm, the best club of the last 20 years, notoriously have the longest days and the hardest sessions. So, and he said that Penrith. So, as I said, Serraldo might be totally wrong. He really might be. But at the end of the day, he's been put as a head coach. This is the standards he's setting. Well, if you're struggling, it doesn't mean you have to leave or whatever. You go away for as many weeks as you need, and then you come back into the system when you're ready to handle the intensity that is required to be great, and you go again. And to be clear, there are plenty of clubs, in clubs' defence, plenty of clubs have had players that have had some mental stuff that have been very, very all right, mate, you go away for X amount and come back, and it's been all good. Like, they haven't been punished for it or whatever. So, yeah, I just think the boys need to get on board. I really do.
You wouldn't have done too well, Tom.
Mate, I would have been getting a train run on me by 30 fucking first graders.
Do you reckon you would have got told to put your head in
Yeah.
for not showing enough ticker?
Well, listen, 34-year-old Tom definitely would have, but 20-year-old Tom, prime of his life sort of stuff, I would have been setting the standards, I think, leading from the front.
You're a standard setter, you reckon?
Do you reckon you set standards?
No, not really.
Or a tone setter, the great Dill.
Yeah, but
Dill
look,
Buckley.
shout out to Dill. Tone setter, not really. I was sort of minister for vibe and culture. That was more my thing.
Nice. Are you
nice.
good at that?
Thank you so much.
Yes.
But if you look at what Serraldo said there about the leadership group and no one brought it up, is that then potentially a leadership group issue?
The problem is sometimes...
Because there's clearly unrest. If you've got players coming out being like it was fucked and it was uncomfortable, like clearly something's gone wrong or there's something amiss here. And if the leadership group aren't recognising it and if they do not telling him, that's...
So sometimes you've got your players that are the big dogs and then you've got your fringies, and sometimes the fringies can get poisoned a little bit and they're disconnected from the big dogs. And so you've got this group of players that are unhappy, they're not playing good footy, they're not getting selected, or sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. And there's this whole weird dynamic where the senior players aren't really hearing about it because they're just dealing with the main guys that always get selected, And then you've got these guys who probably should go to a senior player, but they don't really feel comfortable because they're not necessarily one of the top tier guys.
Fringies.
So
real problem.
It's many. You could speak to a lot of rugby league players. Obviously, whispers in car parks. They would tell you a lot of clubs that struggle. Sometimes their fringies are the ones poisoning the situation because they're unhappy. Their contracts are small. They're not getting appreciated. And sometimes they aren't getting appreciated. Sometimes there've been head coaches in the past that they treat their fringies like shit. Like, you rock up, you don't even get talked to, and not all coaches, but some coaches do that. Coaches aren't perfect. They're not, and Serraldo's not perfect. It is yet to be decided whether Serraldo is a good head coach. So there is every chance that maybe some of the players are onto something. We don't know yet. But as I said, at the end of the day, he's the head coach. That's the way it is. You want to be here, you got to do what he says.
Maybe you just need to start a fringies union.
A fringies union.
They've obviously got the players union more broadly, but fringies
The FU.
Fringies union.
Fringies union. You know how smashed they'd get by the public because they didn't have the added benefit of being a loved superstar.
No, that's it. We don't know the fuck you are, and you're like, that's exactly right. So I'm a fringy.
So anyway, whoever the person is, if they are struggling, I hope that they get taken care of, and hope the Bulldogs can turn around next year, because, geez, she's been tough. Geez, she's been
Tell you what,
tough.
like, with all the news coming out with the Dogs, there was, like, Dogs and South news came out right as, like, Tigers are fucking shit again, coaching shit, like, it was just fever pitch, and then you had Lee wanting to sue people and shit, and you just, like, it was all happening, and then it's just, like, folks just gone completely off.
It's basically
Yeah.
I mean, like the Roosters...
doesn't really go anywhere else.
No.
Well, the Roosters are about to play a
the
game,
Rabbitohs.
and they might not make an 8.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so they're not even getting talked about, and it's getting talked about how the Rabbitohs have had this shocking season, and don't get me wrong, if they don't make the 8, it is a shocking season. Even if they do, you could argue it is. But, like, the Roosters were more favourites than the Rabbitohs at the start of the year.
Yeah.
It's just funny how...
They've had a shocker.
They had a barrack.
They've had a shocker. Like, that was on NRL 360 the other night. I can't remember who was like, mate, yeah, but the Roosters are going well lately. Braithen Essa was like, mate, they were tipped to win the comp.
Like, everyone.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, bizarre. It is funny how, like, the narrative in yarn can just get the rugby league community, and you just full fucking...
There's nothing
pelt.
else like it. There really isn't. It's fucking outrageous and a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Now, teams resting players. There are mass restings this week from teams who are locked in the top 4, except for Penrith. Do you agree with this?
Mass restings is a nice combination of words. It reminds me of mass beachings when a bunch of whales kill themselves, like, you know, up on the sand or whatever. But
Well, they're
mass
probably sunning their
restings-
dicks. They're probably
Well,
sunning their
that's all. That's what it is, right? But mass restings.
Mass is usually put in front of, like, it's usually a mass something. Mass hysteria, mass beaching,
Mass debating.
They'll definitely be doing that.
Yeah. Manly haven't been resting.
No, we haven't.
Because Manly wants a W and we
Yeah.
get it, and we
man.
we put the fans first. I think that's probably worth.
Well, we
pointing
just
out.
What happened to
we
the
don't-
rest of the year then?
Don't take the foot off the throat.
Manly put
put
the
the-
fans first. Fans first.
What happened for the rest of the year? What did they put first then?
Couple of bad calls. Couple of bad calls. We obviously lost Tommy, which was devastating. Jake was out for a good period of time.
Yeah.
So, do you want me to
3
sit here and come up with, like, all legitimate reasons as to why we didn't go that well? Because there's
Tough.
plenty of them.
Been a few other tough things going on.
Do I agree with mass restings? Yeah. Like, if you want to win the comp, resting your big boys as you go into the finals, which is not the same as the regular season, completely different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking oath. Penrith do it every year, and they've made 3 grand finals,
But they haven't done it this year.
which is interesting. Because surely the carrot of 200 grand means absolutely fuck all.
I don't
Right.
think it's more the carrot, though, right? They don't want to
It's
go
got to
on
be
two
it's got to be a
losses,
form thing.
It's a form thing
Yeah.
for the Penrith.
And a combination sim, because
Cog up.
obviously Luai's out.
And Cleary also he had like 6 or 7 weeks off or whatever.
Yeah.
But like that weird carrot from the NRL, just if we just want to either create a carrot of substance
Yeah.
in regards to the minor premiership, or fuck it off.
Not one of those little pinky dick carrots.
Little baby
Like where they
carrot.
come
It's
in
one
like
of
the
those.
bags of
It's
the-
like
the
a
bags,
little
Woolies bags full of carrots.
mate. It's shit house, that carrot. I'm talking about a big, meaty, thick,
Girthy carrot.
1M carrot.
Yeah.
1 million. I reckon
is-
that's a carrot.
it's how
you
weird
get
is it-
100 grand more than that pissy little preseason comp that
We won.
we won.
Hasn't that become?
But we did win it.
Hasn't that become the saddest win of all time?
No, it was. We were all very happy with that.
Listen, you can only win. You just do what you do your best, and we weren't going to purposely throw it. Yeah, it looks a little bit lame now, but wasn't at the time.
No, it was very cool at the time.
It was pretty fucking
Very
cool at the
It
time.
was very
Do you
cool.
reckon that's
Remember how cool it was at the time?
yeah.
I don't
We were
remember it being
tailing
cool at
everyone
all.
up.
Yeah, yeah,
You
it was
tailed up the
cool.
Roosters. Remember how cool that was
that
at
was
the time?
cool.
What do you
That was
reckon's worse? Tigers standing O, or you guys winning the pre-season
Tigers
comp?
standing out because the preseason.
No, but
comp's
we
just
actually won money.
about- yeah, we won shit.
We won
Tigers
shit.
won a half of football.
Standing O halftime trial game is not the same thing as being like, mildly excited about winning $100,000. Point is, 2 preseason wins shouldn't equal a fucking minor premiership after 27 rounds of rugby league. It's absurd.
Way too many rounds. But
Cut the rounds. But
How
that's a
weird
different
is it
story.
that like we put so much emphasis on the grand final, but the minor premium is like you've done it the whole year, like the whole fucking year.
Well, like in the EPL, the Premier League is the trophy. It's more important than every other trophy, and yet
Imagine this week.
our Premier League equivalent, the minor premiership, is like fuck that shit
Yeah.
off.
and it would like make it. Imagine how exciting it'd be this weekend if anyone gave a fuck. But
Oh.
like Broncos and Panthers don't give a shit, and they're the two that are fighting for it.
Do you reckon that'd be
actually care a
full?
little
Do you
bit.
reckon both teams would be full strength if it was $1 million?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a lot of money.
Well, I think it would depend on the team.
I think
and
they-
it goes to the players.
I think they get $1 million for winning the comp, don't they?
Yeah, but minor premiership. I'm just trying to make it like if the players knew that if you get win the minor premiership, you get like a fucking big thick bonus, 30 grand or something each.
Oh, that's a tough one because like the clubs with a lot of money would be like, fuck that, we want to win the grand final, but the clubs with no money would be like, mate, we're doing it.
$1 million still moves the needle.
Oh,
surely,
100%
for
it
all
does.
Clubs.
100% does.
Maybe I'm wrong.
But yeah, it is weird how little like it's like
200 grand. That's
no
that's a joke.
For example, through like 2014, 15, 16 or whatever, I think the Roosters won the minor prem like 4 or 5 times and no one remembers it.
They didn't win shit.
2013 grand final, that's it.
Yep, we won. We did.
Now, make sure to head to Shoegrab to get new shoes. Free delivery on all orders over $99. Sneakers, casual performance, slide, limited exclusive, plus a bunch of clothes and accessories. Head over to shoegrab.com.au, the biggest marketplace for shoes in Australia. Plus, they've got plenty of clothes. They're also the shop that stocks the great Josh Adokar Let's Trot. So make sure to give them a follow on Instagram. They've got a store in Sydney, a store in Melbourne, and they are just a great, great shop to get some quality shoes that you can't get anywhere else. And it's free shipping. Any orders over $99. Dylan Edwards resigns. They now have To'o, Edwards, Yo, Fisher Harris, Martin, Leota, Cleary, and Sorensen all signed up 2026 and beyond. Plus young players, Jack Cole, Jesse McLean until 2026, Tungo, 25. Where does this leave Luai? What do you reckon, boys?
It's pretty nice.
It's a nice
list.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, yeah.
That's a fucking nice
it's good
list.
for Dill. I'm happy for Dill. Dill getting that bag, you know?
What do you reckon?
Ghost, now becoming a boy. He's a boy again.
Do you reckon
He's a fully fledged boy.
He is a boy, which is exciting. Exciting for a boy.
Look what he did as a ghost and what he's going to do as a boy.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Do you reckon they've still got money aside for Jerome?
Well, I think at Penrith, he's going to get nowhere near what he would get maybe at other clubs.
But you will win games.
But you'll probably win another 2 comps before his career's over.
What do you reckon Dill got?
I reckon about 700.
And what do you reckon they've got for Jerome?
Obviously, we don't know what exactly it is, but the reports were it's about 850 for Dill.
850. I think you're probably landing around that for Jerome as well.
Mate, 850 is good cash.
That's what I think as well, to win Prams.
Again, I know that over the course of your career, like you will never earn that much money again unless maybe you're going on something else that like, or, you know, like you could, but you most likely won't. So I can also understand that like over the course of your career, if you're foregoing like a couple of mil, you know.
Yeah. I mean, but if it's only a couple of 100,000 every year, I know it adds up, but it would be... You see even from this Bulldogs stuff, being in an environment where you're losing all the time would be scat.
So shit.
Obviously, Tom and I have been in dressing rooms that are pretty grim after losses.
Yeah, we have. We've been in there.
Hanging around the boys when you're winning would be sick.
And then
also, he's from that area.
You guys felt that when Manly were winning.
And I wasn't even involved.
And then we felt it when they've lost.
Yeah.
And you're trying to give them a PlayStation where it's all vajazzled and looks ridiculous.
And bejazzled.
Did they end up getting that PlayStation?
No, they got it. No fucking... Listen, we weren't doing it for thanks, but they were up our asses about it, and then there's been nothing.
So you got used and abused.
Not even a photo of it in action.
It's not about use and abuse.
They one night stood
No, it's not using it.
We made a commitment that we delivered on.
Yeah.
Now, did Jake take it home and he just never took it into the club? I'm not going to accuse him of that.
I wouldn't accuse Jake 200 game of Jake Jaboyevich.
200 game of this weekend.
Is the club in turmoil right now?
Not at all.
No.
200 game of Jake
Again,
Jaboyevich.
we don't do it for praise and pomp and
And
pageantry.
thanks and, you know, well wishes. And
We work in the shadows,
Yeah.
and we do it for no praise. But it was disappointing not to receive any.
Maybe you're too far in the shadows. They don't even see you to give it back to you or to give you some thanks.
Listen, I don't care, but it's been on my mind often that
Yeah.
we weren't given any praise at all.
Just a photo of it in action.
Yep.
I just want to see it,
Yeah.
prove it's there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not going to say disappointing, disrespectful.
No.
But I'm not going to say that.
No, you should say that. But
If I'd found out my kid hadn't said thanks, then I'd be pretty pissed off with you.
yeah, I'd raise my kids better than that.
Oh.
But in answer of what Jerome does, I don't know. Would I
think
be
he
shocked
stays.
if he chases that bag. Like I wouldn't shock me at all. No, but I think if I was to pick one way or the other, I think he'll stay
I think he'll stay.
and win another. I don't know, 4 comps maybe,
Well, I think that if he can get
5,
like
6.
800K and he's in Penrith, which is one of the fastest growing, you know, areas in the country when it regards to people moving there, but also the value of housing. Everything is going up in Penrith. And if you're the big dog there, winning prems, things can happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a couple more prems, you might even get a street named after you.
It's funny because the Tigers of Campbelltown fame is the fastest growing area in Australia, and
They don't even want to base
not much to
themselves
show
out.
for it.
No, not much.
They need
Not
to base
much.
themselves out there, and honestly,
It's the whole thing needs to be out there. The whole operation needs to be out there.
And call
Live
them-
out there,
and call
train
them
out there,
Magpies.
do up Campbelltown Stadium, play all your games out there.
Call yourself Magpies.
Call yourself the Magpies. Get rid of, let's get fit.
Clean house,
Let's get
head
fit.
office, top brass, stop suing people,
Broom stuff.
broom stuff.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, look, I think it's well earned from Dylan Edwards, and I think that if it's around the 800 mark, I think it's a really good contract for Dylan. I really do. He's been one of the top tier fullbacks in the game. It's probably about what he's worth, I'd say.
Yeah,
I don't think it's over.
That's why I think it's good. I think it's
Yeah.
kind of, and with respect, I almost feel like he could get more somewhere else again, but when you're paying, it's almost exactly what he's worth.
Yeah, I think it's
Redlining what he's worth.
I think he
It's
should
a
be
good
proud of
deal.
himself.
Yeah,
Yeah, really proud
Don't
of
you reckon?
himself. Yeah.
Because he was not that long ago. We were like, who the fuck is Dylan Edwards?
With
No offense.
respect.
No offense. And then he goes on one of the great runs of all time, becomes a boy, wins a Clive, and now he gets that big, juicy, thick, girthy,
Check.
veiny.
Triumphant check.
with some of these contracts, I think imagine 20 grand a week landing in your fucking bank
I was trying
account.
this the other day.
Like,
do you
what
do
would
with
that
that?
feel like?
Well, I tell you what you do. If you're Reece Walsh, you go and buy $5,000 fucking Versace bags, and then Buzz Rothfield posts about it.
That's what
That's
boys do.
living, dude.
That is living. That's rugby league. I would love to if they could do a study on how many people dislike Reece Walsh just because he's hot. I'd love to do a
Most
study on
people.
that.
Well, Bedell does.
that would be the reason.
Pete
most people
Bedell
hate him.
does. Pete Bedell fucking hates how hot he is.
People don't like young, hot alphas.
Pete Bedell. What's this Bieber kid doing looking like Bieber and being all hot like Justin Bieber? What the fuck's this Bieber kid doing?
Was Bedell the one that lost it when he
Rocked up to
looked
the-
hot at his judiciary?
Yeah, he just didn't have a tie on. He had a suit and he had a shirt and he had an earring and he
As
looked
hot as anything.
completely fuckable. And
fucking
Who's
disrespectful.
this stupid hot Bieber hot kid? He's fucking so hot. Why is he so fucking hot? It's judiciary. He shouldn't be so fucking hot.
Almost like, what do you want him to do?
Yeah, what do you want to do? I actually really do want to know what you
No,
want to do
like-
there.
like,
'cause,
does he-
what is it?
Does he make himself ugly or something?
Yeah, what do you want him to do?
Wear glasses and comb over and
I mean, he's
Really-
just like paper bag.
Paper bag.
But the other, the usual reason is a little cruel. But this
Yeah.
one's sort of like, no, hide your hotness, mate.
Yeah.
It's putting everyone off.
well, that's where society's heading. If you're too hot, it's a bad thing nowadays.
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
Shout out to Pete Bedell.
Yeah. So anyway, look, I really, it is going to be interesting what happens with the Luai situation, because if it ratchets up, it's going to be interesting to see how they handle the media side of it, the Penrith Panthers. Even the Crichton stuff, there was a bit of weird stuff that went on, but they seemed to push through it pretty well.
In terms of him leaving.
So
They were like, we've offered him a deal, he won't take it or some shit. Wasn't that?
yeah, and then Critter was not Critter, but there were reports that no deal was actually offered. And
Yeah, I
blah,
can't
blah.
actually remember that.
And so they handle it really well, like the big dog clubs do, even though there was, I guess, a chance for it to explode. It's going to be interesting if he gets really lowballed, like they say, sorry, mate, only 500K or 400K in the cap, that's all we can afford. It's going to be interesting to see because, I know he's polarising to other fans, but to Penrith, he's the guy. He is the guy.
Mate, you'd love to have someone like that on your side. Also, the toughest thing I've seen for a while, just how he just my shoulder's out. Shoulders dislocated. Yeah, there was just no fuck, Jesus Christ, my shoulder's out. He's just shoulders out. It's going on. He's just sitting there. He's got shoulders all fucked up, just walking through it. I'm like, oh my God, dude. I felt like crying for him.
He was
It
relaxed.
fucking painful.
Mate, honestly, I reckon there's a shoulder dislocation every game. You just don't even see.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I dislocated
Don't
my
they
shoulder on my
fucking
debut.
hurt?
Yeah. I dislocated my shoulder on my debut, obviously against Manly, and just
Sucked in.
kept playing.
But that one couldn't get back in.
No, I couldn't get back in. But yeah, it's tough as shit. But I think you'd be if you went into a locker room and saw how many people get needle up and shit, you'd be like, this is fucked. This is there's been guys that get needled in their eyes because they had to straighten their fucking nose just to get on the field and genuine craziness.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I mean, Dylan Edwards played in the grand final with a broken foot.
Yeah, that's some good stuff.
Wow.
Not my racket.
Cleary, he needed a shoulder reconstruction, won a GF.
Yep. Cooper Cronk paid
Cooper Cronk played with
basically
a broken
one without
shoulder.
Yeah. Fuck. Luke Keary, I think grade 2 syndesmosis, GF.
Yep.
Webke, broken arm. Jesus. But yeah, it's funny how like you look at guys like Luai and because he's so polarizing, you don't associate toughness with a guy like Luai, and yet he's fucking super, super tough.
Well, yeah, it was more just like that I was, because he gets shit on all the time,
Yeah.
I was like, I also just felt like it was, if you're going to shit on someone, like if you genuinely have a feeling about the way they're behaving, like you also need to be, you can't just be a fucking negative cunt. You can be like, and I was like, that's very fucking tough.
Yeah.
That was cool.
And that's the thing with Luai, you got to respect him.
Yes.
And I know I say it a million times, but like if you actually sat down and had a coffee with him, he's so nice. So nice.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
He just
Oh, I'm not saying you
fucks up, right? Like everyone. You don't want the guy run out of town, but if you're going to do some of the things you do, then sometimes we got to laugh at it.
The one where I was like, that's just what this is the post-origin one. I was like, bruh,
Yeah.
can't be doing that.
Also the best man one, which was great. Like I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I enjoyed the Gronk one. That was fun.
Gronk one was great.
With Jenna?
That's it. That was good. Yeah, exactly. We had the
Gronk one was great. I enjoyed
right.
the Gronk one.
That's great stuff.
Because I also liked his retelling of the story, not Jerome's, but
Oh,
fucking, I can't remember his name.
so I said he's a dickhead, but he wasn't a
Harry
dickhead.
Arnott. Yeah. I'm like,
You're not a dickhead,
Yeah.
but like, wait.
I said to him, I said, Jerome, why do you behave like a dickhead all the time? I didn't call him one. I'm like, mate, you don't. Like, if you honestly thought that the morning after an Origin, I think, in the airport, you hit him up, I
just
think
lost an
after we
Origin too.
lost, and he's like, mate, you say that?
Imagine what Joey would have done to him.
Yeah.
To think that he wouldn't take offence to that is madness.
Imagine going up to Joey after losing an Origin and going, why do you act like a dickhead, Joey?
Yeah, but also, like, he doesn't need a moral lesson
who
from
are you?
Yeah.
Who the fuck are you, mate?
He's the arbiter of moral truth.
Yeah, like, all right, mate, on your bike.
I think it's funny that he rocked up and he was like, nah, not doing anything to you.
Mate, he's
Got him all the
lucky,
way out to Penrith and goes, fuck that.
he's lucky to get laid out.
Oh, that's great stuff. That is great stuff. Now, judiciary, some big suspensions. Corey Horsburgh found guilty, grade 1 shoulder charge and suspended for 4 weeks. I think that's because he had carryover points. Hargreaves.
I know carryover points are important. It does sort of like get to a point though where the game suffers because the Raiders are playing and Corey's out for 4 weeks. Like what he did wasn't that bad, but yes, he's got carryover points, but like 4 fucking weeks now.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like it's. I don't know. Don't you feel like it just sort of like there's something wrong there? Not to sound like someone on 360 here and talk about consistency and changing the game, but like,
You want to change your game?
Well, game in turmoil.
yeah.
Game turmoil.
Game's in turmoil. I'd be interested to hear what you think, Dan. Do you think that the judiciary, with all this like loading and grading and all the bullshit, do you think it makes the game safer? Like, do you think that people are like, "Ooh, fuck, I got loading. I better change the way I play," or is this all just essentially a bit of bullshit?
Well, I think that back in the day, and it's very vague, back in the day, but I kind of do feel like there's been a turning point of people used to get suspended for intention. Intention used to matter.
Yes.
So it's like Corey Horsburgh's shoulder charge. Like, okay, by the letter of the law, his arm didn't come around him, whatever. But like looking at all of Corey Horsburgh's situations, like what was the intention behind them? Was it really dirty stuff that is dangerous as anything? Not really. Whereas I feel like today, intention is irrelevant. It's just like, what is the end result?
See, I think intention's got to be in there.
I think it's gotta be relevant.
Fuck-ups happen all the time,
Like
right?
4 weeks. If they make
weeks
the
is
GF,
outrageous.
essentially,
It's
it's
just
gone.
it's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
and again for something that's a
It's
grade
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think
I
I've
sound like I'm on NRL 360.
I think I've got the perfect way to resolve that problem.
Oh, shit.
So
okay.
yeah, no, I
Like
think I
that.
do.
Fuck it.
DMP 360.
Holy. DMP 360.
So the reason Horsburgh got such a big suspension was because it was his third offence. But the two offences before that was contrary conduct in round 21, and then last year
It's
a
like, who
careless high
cares?
tackle in round 25. I reckon it should only be a first, second, or third offence if it's the same offence. Like if you do dangerous
That's what I thought
contact
it was.
2 or 3 times. Yeah, that's the first shoulder charge he's done. So it's actually his first shoulder charge. It's just his third offence.
That's outrageous.
That's fucking ridiculous. That
'Cause I
doesn't make
thought it
any
was-
sense.
no.
Because you should be punished for being a serial shoulder charger.
Yeah. I honestly thought, oh, okay, he's done it 3 times. I see the methodology there. But if it's literally like the first shoulder charge as well, it just speaks to the fact that I'm 100% correct.
Shoulder charge, like in the scale of shoulder charges, it's nothing. Like, and like if they make a,
it wouldn't make any all-time shoulder charge fucking montages, would it?
No. Maybe that should be the measure.
Yeah, would it make a montage?
Would
Yes
it
or
make
no?
a YouTube video with some far too fucking intense music?
Some
underneath
EDM
it?
music put over it with some
Yeah.
graphics that are,
Yeah.
ripped straight from the internet.
When you'd really prefer to hear the commentary, but then you get in there and it's like,
And they make the fucking screen shake when the big thing happens. It pisses me off.
Yeah.
Whenever they do that, they make the screen shake. When it happens, you're like, I can't see what
Stop
happened.
inserting yourself into this.
And
We
they
just
use
want to see the
alternative
hit.
camera angles where you can't really see anything. I'm like, what is
Just
doing,
give me the
bro?
good stuff. Keep
and
it
leave the
missionary.
commentary in. Fuck.
So look, to hear that, like, so contrary contact. So would have been like, I don't know, what, swearing or something like.
And then the one in round 25 last year was a careless high tackle.
And careless means like,
Over a year ago.
Yeah. You know what? If it was 1 year, if it was 1 week before, it'd
Would
be
be
out of the
sweet.
12th month.
yeah,
window.
that would be sweet.
Jesus Christ.
See, that's where you're getting like, come on, let's use a bit of common sense here. Let's use a bit of common
If
sense.
he missed a grand final, which they won't make, but if he was to miss a grand final for that, that would be one of the
Travesty.
great disgraces all time.
Honestly, I'd hope they'd overturn it. Seriously, hope they'd overturn it. If they got to a grand final and he was going to miss it, I would hope they'd overturn that because that's outrageous stuff.
Especially because you need a big red out there.
You need a big red in a
You
grand
do.
final.
You do.
Now, this next bloke, very hard to defend. Hargreaves, 2 suspensions. He took an early plea, 3-week grade 1 striking charge, fought the grade 2 dangerous contact charge and copped a further 4 weeks.
Is he playing next year?
Well,
Yeah,
he's not at this rate.
He's contracted and he's on game like 298 or something. If the Roosters missed the finals, he was on track to have his 300th game in Vegas, but now that's gone.
Whispers that the show might cop some of these weeks.
In order to help AWH back on the field.
This one's
Fought
kind
it
of
and
like,
copped a further 4 weeks.
Yeah, and it was for headbutting.
no, the one he got 4 weeks worth was for the late shot on Nappy Coruscant.
What's the thing?
Oh, okay.
What's the thinking behind getting fined more if you lose? Is it because it costs money to go to judiciary?
I think they wanted to deter.
It's like
the
if
cops.
you think
when
you did it, do it. Like admit it.
Yeah.
You're getting more for basically saying
Don't waste our time.
Don't waste our time. You did what you did. Get the fuck out of here.
Right.
It's like,
But a further 4 weeks?
Early guilty pleas.
No, he only
court.
got a week extra.
Right.
He's going to get 3 weeks.
But what if he... Yeah. I know what you mean. I'm just like...
Pretty sure it's the same in like the legal system.
It is the same. They'll come to you and say,
that's
mate,
true.
just
Yeah,
take
yeah. That's
this
true.
offer.
That's true.
Plea bargain.
Yeah, play bargain, yep.
You ever plead out, Bruce? Snitch on the streets?
Played out. Would I play?
Would you plea? Snitch on the boys?
Nah, bruh.
Plead out will get you bleed out, bruh.
Is that a thing?
Fuck,
It is now.
How the fuck would I know?
Well, I'm just saying, is that a saying?
Not that I'm aware of.
In
Like
Dubbo,
a,
it is.
like a stitches get stitches sort of thing? Played out, you bleed out, bruh?
It's a good. I don't mind it.
I liked it. It was quick.
Quick.
Sharp.
Thanks, guys.
Sharp
Wow.
stuff.
As you can tell, I'm a real street tough.
Yeah, we can tell, buddy. Don't worry about
Yeah,
that.
you don't need to tell us that.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, the Hargreaves one, it's like, mate, he has been flying so close to the sun for so long.
Oh, he's a renegade.
And also, like, the Appy Coruscant one, even if he didn't make contact with the head, it's like, bruh, it's late and it was kind of on an angle where it's...
Oh, she late. Oh, she
It was late. I didn't think it was that high.
I don't know if
She
he didn't
like-
make contact, but
It's
it's, like,
just that he's
bruh.
big and Abby's small, and he sort of looked like he just sort of glanced up over him. But unfortunately, Jared, no one is going to be looking forgivingly upon your transgressions.
What do you got there, Matty?
He's been charged 11 times in 2 years, 6 times since round 15, and I think
6 times since round 15.
1, 2, 3, 4 of those for dangerous contact.
Where does that sit in terms of his old mate, Victor the Inflictor? Like, have they almost got a comp going?
Victor's been 4 times this year,
Hargreaves is
and twice last year. So
Oh, so Hargreaves
Jared
is like,
well ahead.
Doubled him nearly.
doubled him.
Yeah.
The big dog.
There's like, those
my
are baby
God.
numbers. You need to pump those numbers
Yeah, you
up.
got to pump those
Yeah.
numbers up. Rookie numbers.
Rookie numbers.
Victor's, like a lot of Jared's, are like there's a few contrary conducts in there. Victor's dangerous contact, careless high tackle, striking, dangerous contact, dangerous contact, dangerous contact.
Oh, yeah, that's rugby league, baby. That's rugby league. Now, transfer whispers. Raiders are showing interest in Keon Kolomatangi. Demetrio says he's confident they will re-sign him. Luke Thompson reportedly hopeful that he can He will get a contract, and the Roosters at a cut rate price of his current salary, and Panthers have reportedly offered Brad Schneider a deal to back up halfback. Now they've lost Cogger. He was at the Raiders, but made the switch to Hull KR mid-season. What do you reckon, boys?
Keon would be great at the Raiders. But Keon, yeah.
No.
As in he
Why?
was-
No, he'd be better. He'd be
Sorry.
much better at South.
I understand. I understand. Listen, again, big fan of Sticky. Don't love the bunnies.
We went up to Fafita for a bit there.
I reckon he missed out on quite a few players, Stick.
Mate, you
Generally, like, over
gotta
time.
unfurl the sack a little bit.
Because
if
people
you
don't want to go
get
down there.
Canberra.
Go down there, Keon.
But like,
Get down to the nation's capital, mate.
yeah.
Get down there. I can't see it happening, but
Either.
Because, also, I think there's quite a few clubs that would want to sign Keon as well. So it's not like he's only
you're
got
not
that
like,
option.
you'd
No one
you
else
get
would
the
be
most
doing
money
that.
down there, most likely.
I reckon you could get maybe as much or more for doggies, tigers.
Yeah, and you'd have to go to the nation's capital. No
Yeah.
offense.
No offense, nation capital.
No offense.
Because you're the capital of the nation.
You are the capital of the nation, so I will show you some respect,
Not much.
but not much. Almost none.
No, pretty much none. But whatever.
I think they'll re-sign him. If I'm Keon, I'm looking at like Whiten coming next year, licking my lips, but then I'm also looking at what's happened this year, and that's concerning. Highly alarming. No offense, Matty, because you'll lose this weekend. It'll be one of the most disastrous seasons of all time.
Well, it will usurp Broncos 2022.
Do you reckon if you guys lose to the Tigers, it'll be like
no,
worst?
but we won't though. So I don't even know what you're talking about. Did
No.
you watch this last week against the Dogs? Like we'll
Fucking
hump
bash
the
them.
Tigers into the earth.
Yeah.
The boys are on. DC will sort of hattie.
It will be so...
DC are best halfback in the comp.
It won't happen.
It'll fill my heart.
There's no way.
if
There's
that
no way.
happened to end your season.
It won't happen. There's no way. So I'm not even that worried about it.
No.
But the Bunnies, first after 11 rounds. I remember, Matty, we were up at Magic Round. I'm like, you cunts, this is your season. Like, you are looking so fucking good. Like, this is your time.
Your exact words, I remember. We were standing in the Caxton and you
Yeah.
were like, this is yours to lose. You pointed at me.
Yeah, I did. I pointed.
Literally, he's to lose.
Yeah.
And it's been a fucking disaster ever since. So
Sucked in.
I put the mocker on you, mate. And I'm proud of myself.
Rabbitohs
for
still
doing
finish
so.
above Manly, though.
Who? It doesn't matter about that. Either you win or
Sorry.
you don't. That's it.
I was just looking at the ladder, that's all. I just...
I don't
If you don't win the comp this year, Denon, you had just as bad a season as us. You
literally.
don't win the comp, you're no better than us.
Literally. Like, I couldn't agree more, legitimately. I came third on the table. I don't care.
No, I don't
If you
give a
didn't
shit.
win, it means nothing.
All right, let's get to some tips. Broncos, $1.63, Storm, $2.28.
I like the Broncos.
I'm on the Bronx.
Yep.
Seagulls, $1.22,
Manly,
Tigers,
13
$4.35.
plus.
Lot of
Manly
value
win
there.
and win well.
Lot of value there.
Win and win well.
Stubby Cooler Canicola at fullback was fucking
It's hot.
gorgeous.
That's
I'm telling you, I reckon if you could try to give him a full preseason at fullback and then you get Tom Trbojevic back in the centre position, I said at the start of this year, get just 12 months under his belt, then maybe you're moving back to fullback. That's what I reckon you should
I like
do.
it.
I don't hate it.
I like it.
And Sir
Don't hate
Scopius, he said the same thing. And if the great Scope is saying it, then
Scopius, he gets it.
And he
I
gets
like
Manly
that.
too.
I like that. That's good stuff.
What do you got there, Manny?
I was just getting ready. The odds have changed for the next game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cute.
Rabbitohs, Roosters.
Roosters. Roosters. Roosters.
Boo.
There's
Sorry,
too
Matty.
much, mate. It's like, it's all over.
It's done.
It's done.
It's done.
Nah, this week, it's been like the explosion, like the straw that broke the camel's back. And
Yes,
now it's going to be a 13 plus win.
Penny and I are doing a live stream for that as well, Rabbitohs Roosters. So
It's
we're
not
gonna be
how it
fucking-
works.
Yeah. No, you're done.
It's done. It's all over. You have got no one at that club knows what the fuck is going on, and they don't know how to
The
arrest
problem,
it.
the skid. You're on the slide down the hill. There's too much inertia of like poor form and problems and shit that
And
you
you
won't be able
can,
to.
and they can blame Luchel all they want, but he's not even playing.
Yeah.
So he's not even relevant.
I'll be sure to comment on your live stream on the 80th minute when we've won by about 20.
Ooh.
I don't think so. I think you're in big trouble.
That's
big trouble.
This Friday, Hello Sport YouTube. Make sure to give her a watch.
And on SEN.
And I'll see SEN as well. Dolphins, Warriors.
Dolphins.
I'm going the Wars.
I'm going the Wars. Panthers, Cowboys.
Panthers.
Panthers.
Win and
Sorry,
win
Cows.
well.
Cows will be going, what the fuck, dude? Everyone's resting. Fuck.
I tell you what, though, if Broncos lose, I'd be looking at those odds because I'll probably just go
Yeah.
because Panthers might rest. Dragons, 201. Knights, $1.83.
Drags.
I think the Knights can still do it.
Drags have been there or thereabouts.
I haven't minded the Dragons, to be honest, the last few weeks.
You're a club legend.
Wouldn't it be if the Broncos win, they'd rest?
Yes.
Sorry, win. Apologies.
Yeah,
Yeah, apologies. Titans, doggies. Oh,
Titans win and
Yeah.
win well. Dogs are fucked.
Yeah.
Put a line through them.
Yeah.
Sharkies, Raiders.
Raiders.
You on Raiders?
Yeah, fucking oath.
Wow.
Yeah, I
You're
am.
back in the stick.
Yeah, big time.
Which is, I'm Sharkies.
This is sticking his element back against the wall.
This is where he thrives, mate.
So-
Sticky.
Sharks win, Raiders are out.
No, Cowboys. If Cowboys win, Sharks win, Raiders are out.
Okay, but if the Cowboys lose, then the eight's sort of.
They're sweet. They're sweet.
All right. Sharks.
I think Sharks win. I think Raiders played their big game last week against the Broncos because they were quite good defensively last week.
And they still lost.
Well, they were robbed, if you ask Sticky.
All right, we are done and dusted. Anything going on, boys?
HelloSport.shop, Rose Pink Hats, 6:30. No, sorry, 6 tonight. HelloSport.shop.
There it is. We'll go and fuck ourselves. Thank you.
Bye.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.